everyone to the Student Family Committee today, April 22nd, 2021. Is right now it's 5 p.m. I'd like to welcome all my committee and thank you, Mr. Joe Sokolovic will be here, Ms. Bobby Brown, and Mr. Plana. Appreciate you and your time, your valuable time to be here with us. And welcome to Ms. Plana. Appreciate you be here tonight with us. Long time to see you. And welcome, Ms. Gribben, to see you again. Appreciate you be here for tonight. Um, we will be very top on the my agenda because I know we have Ms. Rocha. Hi, welcome. How you doing?
Hi, I'm doing well, thank you.
Thank you for being here for tonight.
Of course.
Um, um, well, we'll be on top because I know it's a lot of things. We have an agenda full. We have a lot another meetings. So I will go brief and to the point to agenda. So the first thing in an agenda, I would like to approve the minutes for the March 18, 2021. Did I have a approve for that minute, please?
So move.
Motion to approve. Second.
Sorry, Ms. Brown, right? Yeah. Yeah. Any objection? Any questions about the mini Ms. Brown and Mr. Joe?
No, sir.
Thank
I'm
you.
all set.
All right, we'll pass. We approve. Thank you so much. And the second on the agenda we have is the update the just the white pack and PTA. So Ms. Ms. Rocha, I would like to give me some information about that because I'm a little confused about the white city pack. It's a lot of information that we need to update. I see you send it to us and I just reading and I was trying to communicate with some of them. They are not more no more pack. They are the numbers are changed. I don't know if the school let you know, what is the update for the pack PTA. So in each school in Bridgeport, please. Can you give me some information about that?
Sure, of course. Yeah, so that was the last list that we compiled, and then I did send around a request for each of the administrators to update their information. And a few of them did even trickle in after I had to submit the report to Mr. Grasti. So there are, I think, 2 additional changes that need to be made, but to the best of my knowledge, with the requested information, that's what I received. But if you think that some of it is not accurate, we can definitely go back. I can go back to those administrators and ask them to look it over and revise it.
All right. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna send you who they are, what school, so you can talk to the principal and ask them, what's going on.
Perfect. I can
Right.
update the file again and resubmit it.
Sound good. I appreciate that because it's very important that we have to contact all these pack leaders, and they know we hear from them. So anything we need to contact them, so we can, we let to know where they are, how to
Got it.
contact. You know. Thank you, Ms. Russia. The third and the parent involved action 2021, 2020, 2021. You give me, a little information summary spending, list of on the items order. When I ask that, it's because I see so many school they trying to spend the money. I understand, like me and Joe, and Bobby, we said like we need to spend the money as soon as possible, but spend the money the way it's supposed to be for the parents. Do not order stuff and don't try to order stuff because I'm not gonna agree with that 100%. That you want to order stuff for the schools or you want to order things for the staff that is not for the parents. So I'm very picky, and then when you're gonna order stuff, when they said it right now, I just checked all the information. I don't know what this means. YS technology. We have one that says school specialty. Rochester 100 ranking textile printing, like print stuff. I don't see stuff like that I have to be educate for the parents. Or you order stuff on any information, bulk information, supplies for your pack room, for the parent, it's fine. But when I see all these numbers and I see all these names and all this company, I'm like, what that company, what that, what's going to be, what is for the parents? So that's why I'm very picky. I know they want to spend the money, but don't spend the money in something that parents not going to use it. Especially when I see a lot of school supplies. What kind of school supplies, you need it for the parents? I can tell you, Mr. Joe, that can tell you, we deal with school supplies for so many years for the parents. But don't tell me you spend in the school supply things for the school, because I'm not agree with that. This money is for the parents. And I always say that for the day one. So I just want to know, you give me some updating information. What do you think about all this company you see there? And I start searching. I'm like, this is not for the parents. That's why I'm confused. I'm not happy with that.
Sure. So I don't really have any more information. I know the request was sent to our grants department to pull the data. And so I don't have access to that data. What it looks like is the name of the vendor, what line item, like whether it was supplies or, a stipend, where it falls under in the categories. And then a list of the vendors that they were used and how much money they spent from each specific vendor. I'm not sure if there's a way to pull exactly what each item was. I really don't have access to that information.
Well, it's in the document you send it to us, because right now it's YS Technology. They spent $485, and I'm like, okay, what they're gonna give, what's gonna give to the parents. So that's okay. You order, oriented training, Barnes and Noble, books, stuff like that. I understand that. But when you order stuff okay, why this is gonna get to the parents? You want to order, and then I see so many schools say school supplies, school supplies, school supplies, school supplies, school supplies. So I really, really not. I'm gonna be checking this, and I'm gonna tell you what school it is, Miss Rocha, so we can working together, because I know we had to spend the money before the 29th, but do not spend. Come on, don't spend the money the way it is. If you don't want to spend it, leave it there. Don't spend it in school for something is not necessary, because come on, really. I'm not happy with that, and I'm always fighting for this for so many years. The money is there is for the parents. It's not for the school. It's not for the principal. It's not for the staff. That's why we have a different budget. But it's things that I would not be happy. I would not be happy spending the money the way it is not. And then you have one school there. They order and I don't know if they have activity in the school. They order the whole year, the whole 10 months food. So they spend the whole budget in food. And I'm like, okay, and I find out that the school they have activity for the parents in the school. So what they using the money? My question is why they using the money, the money's parent, for the school for do things they're not supposed to. And I'm not happy with that. I'm very picky with and no. So I will be on top of this. I'm gonna be in the bottom of this, because I know people want to spend the money. They go crazy. Oh, let's spend it. Let's buy this. Let's buy. No, they have another school. I just see it just now. In that school, I can tell you right now, it's Marine School. Why Marine School spend uniforms? So I'm a little confused. Okay, they have a math science. That's fine. They spend $3,000. Wow. But they have uniforms. Uniforms for who? For the parents. And then they say graduation sorts. So you think things like that, words like that, when I see that kind of money, I'm like, for who? You tell me you're gonna spend something for the parent, it's fine. That's why I had to be more on top, and I want to be more on top with my committee. That if we're gonna see this year, these parents spending the money, I want to see the action plan. I want to see if you're gonna do, let's see, math, science, something like that, right? So let's go. Let's see what you're gonna do. How you gonna spend the money with the parents? You need to see. Don't tell me. Yes, I did have a math night, but nobody checked. Nobody's watching how to spend the money. So I'm very picky in that situation. Mr. Joe, you have your hands up.
Yes, we've encountered stuff like this before. Like I think it was maybe 2 years back. We had a bunch of expenditures that we really didn't like, and remember what we did? We had everything brought before us for that particular school. The P10s, and some P10s was found that they weren't countersigned by the PAC president and what have you. I think it would be a good practice for every now and then for us to just pick a school at random, or if we see a school that's of concern, just to do basic overview, like basically an audit by us, because we know where the money's supposed to be spent. I mean, we had one school that had like, I think it turned out okay, but it was like half the money went to staff stipends, and
Yes,
bunch of money went to T-shirts that was owned by a company.
I remember.
Somebody,
Yes,
and it ended up all okay, but it was something that really, really needs a look, because sometimes it might not end up okay. And,
yeah. You have right now. You have a stipend. Yeah, you say that now. You have a stipend there, almost $4,000 in stipend in parent in teacher. Now, I don't have problem that teachers get paid, but what they did, why they spend that money, Yeah, I agree with you, Mr. Joe.
Yeah, and yeah, that does seem high. Yeah, it depends on I mean, if you run a couple of events, yeah, for that. I mean, I don't know what the per diem hour is for either a teacher or a student, but $4,000 would seem like quite a bit of hours to put in to get a stipend of that significance.
And yeah, I agree.
And just so they know, it's just being looked at, and these questions are being asked. I mean, I'm sure 99.9% of our staff and everybody and our PAC leaders are excellent, but that point one, keep that point one. If everybody's doing what's supposed to be done, nobody would mind having their work looked at and have advice to do things a little better.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Joe. Ms. Brown, you have any question?
Not more of a question. I guess maybe I'm just trying to figure out, is this the form that Ms. Rocha said that I don't know if you got approval to be able to pre-fill it in for the different schools. Was that ever a thing that we officially decided to do so we could actually help those schools who needed stuff to put on their form, or these are two different conversations? I could be off.
Oh, in the same conversation, definitely. So what we had talked about, Ms. Brown, what was your idea was to kind of pre-fill in some forms, have them available. And so I did print out a bunch of forms that were already filled in, so that at the, when we were coming down to that last time, when we met with the superintendent at the PAC PTSO roundtable, I did offer it to any of the parents that might need that support to make sure they spent the rest of the money. So yes, that was
good. Was it helpful to the PAC?
What was the most helpful was giving them ideas of the vendors that most of the parents use and found the most successful. So just being able to fill in the vendors, because there are so many vendors in the city of Bridgeport, that becomes overwhelming. So just giving them the vendor as a starting point to fill in, that was the most I found to be the most helpful.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted an update on it, but no more questions, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Ms. Brown. All right, Ms. Rocha, I'm gonna be on top of this. That's gonna be my homework, that I'm gonna check all this name of vendors and how to spend the money, and about the wide pack, the district leader list too, so you can see, to see what's going on, because I know we're going through a lot of things with the COVID-19. And I know these leaders, they're trying to do the best they can, and I'm not going to push in the leaders. And I appreciate what they do, all these PAC leaders and PTSO, especially what they don't get paid for this. This is a volunteer. They do the most they can to spend the money. But if you decide to be running as a PAC president or PTSO president, and they put you in that position, you have to understand that you have a job, you have responsibility to make a report and how you're using the money. If you think it's too much, so step back or step down and let another person do it, or let them know, yourself, Rocha, or the board, listen, I cannot make it, or the principal, because too much. But if you asking, be talking about a grant money, Title I money, I don't want the state come later and say why Bridgeport's not spending the money the way it's supposed to be with the parents, and I will not be happy for that. We got so much thing to do to have something add negative and say Bridgeport's not doing the job. And when it's about PAC and PTSO, this is my passion, and I want to be sure parents have the information the way it's supposed to be. But I'm gonna be on top of this, because I want to know what kind of company is this, and I want to be sure to spend the money the way it is to the parents, not for the school, not for the staff, not for the principal, because I know they have another different budget. And Mr. Tatani say that, and in the financial, on Mr. Chair, Joe, he know they have a different budget. We spend the money different department. So I'll be on top of that. I'm gonna be down the homework. I will be in touch with you, Ms. Russia, with that, and we can work together to see what we can do to have this update, and everything.
Okay. No problem.
Thank you, Ms. Russia. And the four and the agenda is parent convention update. That I'm supposed to be having this ready, guys. And I promise you, but if I was in the hospital because I had the COVID-19 and they put me back for a little bit. But tonight I'm gonna be working with some parents that really know the interest. So this is parent convention. I'm gonna add Ms. Brown, Ms. Joe in this email I'm gonna send so you guys can be part. So to see how we can spend this $19,000. I know it'll be in short time, but I'm just bringing some idea. I really spoke by emails. Some parent leaders, the parents. This is parents from Bridgeport. They're the committee. The parents from Bridgeport School. They will be running the parent convention. They really have some idea. So another word, we ready. Another word, when I told you, Ms. Rorschach, this is the company, or how we gonna do the P10, or this is the vendor, because I know Nadida Clark, they really send it to me. Some vendors, we really have it already, so we don't need to go crazy looking for vendors. So it's there in the system, so it's more easy for us to work. So when we start listening, we're gonna order this, we're gonna send this, we're gonna send that, so it's more easy. So we don't need to go crazy looking for for vendor. But tonight, after I finish all the meetings we have, I'm gonna contact all this committee so we can try to, as soon as possible, we can spend this money. You have any question about Ms. Brown and Mr. Joe about the parent convention update?
None for me, thank you.
I'm all set.
And you, Ms. Russia, you have any question?
Nope, but if you need anything from me, if I can assist in any way, just let me know.
Thank you so much. Thank you. All right, now the best part. I was waiting for a long time. Bridgeport PLTI, Ms. Plana. Thank you so much for being here. The reason I invite you is because I know I'm a PLTI 2009. I'm very proud, love it. If you see in the back over here, you can see my certified is there.
I saw it.
That's yeah. It's my passion, and I love it. I enjoy it. I'm very proud. So I want PLTI back. I know a lot of parents need it. I know a lot of parents, they enjoy. I enjoy. I love it. I know so many people, they graduate from there and they still love it. They enjoy. We strong leaders. We think to PLTI. I am who I am. We can be a strong leader. So what we can do, Ms. Plana, to bring this to the PACs, to the PTSO, to the getting to information to all these PAC leaders, so they can bring it to the parents and they can enjoy and be part of PLTI. The floor is yours, Ms. Planas.
So thank you so much for the invitation. Like Mr. Benahan said, my name is Diana Planas. I'm the coordinator for Bridgeport PLTI through BCAC and RIASAP. We've had a long running here in Bridgeport. And in the last couple of years, we've had a kind of a low attendance for PLTI. There's been a lot of changes. There was changes when I came on, and there's just been changes, and it's kind of lost its momentum. So my goal is to really build that momentum again, and we're graduating actually 15 parents June 1st. So I'm excited about that. It's the biggest class that I've graduated so far. So I'm excited about that. We started with 19. But as we all know, the pandemic happened, and so we went remotely. So this is the first class that we will be graduating that did the whole class remotely. We'll actually have an in-person graduation, but all 20 weeks, including the retreat, were done remotely, which is an amazing feat because each class is 3 hours long for 20 weeks. So they've really sacrificed a lot of time and effort. I would love to really make sure that we are getting out to all of the schools once the recruitment stages start again, which we will start in probably late August, early September. And I think with Ms. Rocha's help, I really want to get out into all of the schools this year. I think we have gotten out into all of the schools, but I think our information somehow doesn't get disseminated to everybody. And if it gets to a, a desk of a principal might get, 100 emails. And so that gets lost in the emails. And so I really would like to work with Ms. Rocha to find another way to really getting these applications out. I have sent them out electronically to all of the schools. And again, I'm not sure if everyone got them, but they do get out. We actually did the application virtually. So all they had to do was fill out the application and I was getting all the information. And I think we ended up having like 25 parents, but they have to go through an interview process. And so we wound down the class to 19 and started the class out with 19, which was a great attendance. The limit for the class is 25. So we could have up to 25 parents for each class. So we are now, once this class graduates, we'll look into starting recruitment for our 2022 class, starting back in January. And just to give you a little background of PLTI, PLTI is a Parent Leadership Training Institute. It's been in Bridgeport. We're going on our 23rd year. And so this will be our 23rd class being graduated from PLTI. It started back in 1998, I believe. I can't remember the actual date. I think 98 or 97. I think it was 98. And it just teaches parent empowerment and civic engagement for parents. And it just teaches tools for parents to be better advocates. And I believe that all of your presidents and secretaries, they should all be involved. And I think a lot of them are. But I think we could reach more. And even though we have a class limit of 25, I think we should have like a good set of your parents apply and go through the process just so that they could see that it's a real process and that PLTI does exist. Because I feel like some people feel like they haven't ever heard of PLTI. And I know you're a huge advocate, Mr. Benham, for PLTI, and I really, really appreciate it. But I think everyone should really be part of this class and this initiative because it really is worth it. Parents in the first phase of the class learn how to build community. So they get together and they build community. And then in the second half, it's more about civic engagement and how they could become better advocates for their kids, which is a great piece. So there is a community project that all parents are responsible for. And sorry, my phone is ringing. That parents are responsible for. And once they complete that community project, they are responsible for seeing that project through. And a lot of parents have done signs at schools. They have worked with their community leaders around their area to build a garden or have signs put up at their child's school. I have someone right now who's working on an SEL room, social emotional learning room in her child's school. So there's a lot of different things that the parents could focus on doing this community project, which will be a great addition to whatever it is that they want to continue doing. If parents want more information, they could always reach out to me. I will, I don't know if I could put it in the chat or if I could just say my information, but my email is dplanasap@ryasap.org. And my phone number is 475-298-0207. I'm always available either way, by phone or by email. I do work for RIASAP. We are not currently in the office right now, so we are using mobile phones. But anyone could email me at any time, or text me or call me, and I'm available to answer any questions that anyone has.
Do we have a flyer or something like that we can share from the PLTI, your information, like something I can share, or we can send it to Mr. Testani, they can send it to all the leader, or Ms. Rocha can send it to the team. What do you think, Ms. Rocha?
I have a flyer. The flyer actually has the old information to connect to the application, but what I could do there is that I could put in a link to a waiting list. And that could be the list that they would like information. I could contact people from that list.
Yes, good. You can send it to Ms. Rocha, and Ms. Rocha, you can put it in the chat, Teams, so people they can see it. And I can tell Mr. the study, they can send it to the principals so they can share with the pack leaders. Miss Rosha, do you have email that when you send email, you can send it to all pack leaders, the information?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so you can do that. You can send that flyer to them so they can, any question on that instead to be part of PLTI, they can contact Miss Plana. I still remember my project, Miss Plana.
You do?
And I have it. And it was my project was how as a parent and as a leader, how to communicate with students and parents. And I still have it. And that was 2009. And look at where I am now.
Look at you. And we're very proud. We always talk about our past parent leaders who are holding office or holding different seats in our city. So we're very proud of all of you.
Thank you. I appreciate that so much. Thank you so much, Ms. Plana. We will be in touch. We will be working more together. I promise to you, we will be working more at PLTI to let them know these leaders, how important to be part of PLTI in Bridgeport.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you for letting me present today.
Ms. Brown, Ms. Joe, you have any questions to Ms. Plana?
No questions. I will say that part of the branding and communications team of the Board of Education, we are looking at ways to better improve information that's being sent out to parents, staff, and different ways to make sure it gets directly to them. So there's no promises as to when that actually will roll out, but I do appreciate you saying that, the lens that you're going to push out information. And it's been one of my goals, and everyone that knows is to be able to bridge the gap, because the parents are now my age. So, making sure that the younger parents are a part of it. I'm not a parent, but I am a PLTI kid. My mom went through the program, so I understand how valuable it is. And then seeing people like Mr. Benahan, be successful from coming out of it and taking leadership says a lot to what the program can do for our PACs that are across the district. So these are things that we're working to see happen, to be able to support programs that support parents.
Thank you so much. That's awesome.
Thank you, Ms. Plana. I appreciate your time, your valuable time. You're professional, always professional. And you're a great leader. It's an honor. Be happy, be part of you, be part of us.
Thank you.
You're welcome to stay, Ms. Plana. If you're not, thank you so much for being with us.
Yeah, I actually can't. I have to go get my son.
Okay, no problem.
But thank you.
Take care. God bless you. Thank you so
You
much for
too.
everything. All right, thank you. Well, in the next agenda we have number set is I believe the student grade report, passing, failing. And I believe that's Mr. Plana. I believe you can give me that report. I see you give it to us some information. You can give update with that, Mr. Planas?
Yes, sir. Good evening. How are you?
Good. I don't see you.
Okay. Ms. Plana is a tough act to follow, so I am going to let me see here. Okay, so here is the report. And by the way, we attempted to generate the 2020-2021 school year, but we've noticed it will be very tough to do so, because, as you know, grades are not even close to being done for the year yet. So what we have,
something?
can you see my screen?
Sorry, are you showing something? No. Oh, okay.
Okay. My apologies. Let me get it again. How about now? Can you see it?
No, I just see the logo. That's it. I didn't see.
All right, let me try it again. Share this little puppy here. Desktop window, Chrome tab, retention report. Now.
No, something you did before showed like that you were in the Zoom, in the Teams, but now it's gone.
Okay, so you can't see my report right now on the window.
No.
Only see your logo. Your camera is off.
All right, maybe I should turn on the camera. How's that? Try that again. Desktop, Chromebook. Can you see it now?
Nope.
No.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go. No, you left. Go back.
Go back. Takes a little bit. You should see it now.
No.
Yep, you should see it in a minute right there.
Okay.
That it?
No, we don't see
No?
nothing. No.
Come on. All right. I'm going to try one last time. If not, let's see. Desktop. Let me try it another way. Hold on. Pull the report this way. I am going to shrink this. Share. Desktop. All right, I'll do it this way. Okay. Can you see that?
No, we don't see nothing. I just looking everything in my cell phone. Let's keep
Yeah, we've shared the document. Actually, it says that it's sharing. You're sharing your screen. No luck.
No.
All right. Anyhow, I could read the information. Maybe that will help.
Yeah, just read it.
Information has been shared in the packet that's been provided to all of you. And it basically reads as follows. We have a group of pre-K. Pre-K, we had 92%, 93% roughly retention. Promotion with 7% retention. Pre-K4, roughly 94% with 6% retention rate. This promotion rate increases as we go up the grades from K through 5, from 95% through 99% in grade 5. Only a small amount of students were retained at that grade. And by the way, this is from last year. So as you know, COVID hit our schools around March. And that's around the third marking period. The one thing that we observed last year, and we made sure, was that anyone failing for the first and second marking period who did not do any type of work or very minimal work for the third marking period, then they were considered for retention. Anyone else was basically promoted. Also, truancy was an issue last year. Obviously, if you failed the first and second marking period and you were very truant towards the end of the year, that was also considered for promotion, for retention. My apologies, for retention. So in the 7th and 8th grade, if you notice, 7th and 8th grade was 99.47 for 7th grade promotion, 99.74 for 8th grade. As you move into high school, I asked data management the question because these numbers, I noticed that in 9th grade, there was a 6.57% retention rate, and that kind of carried through 10th grade and even in 12th grade. So I asked if this was post summer school, and they said that yes, indeed, these were students that that didn't do summer school, or they did very poorly in summer school and they weren't able to pass summer school, or they had many more than 2 subjects that they were not successful at, and so that's where they were retained at that time. So I think that's all I have for this report.
So right now, Mr. Plana, the 12th grade, I see they have 8.6%. It's because the summer situation. So that's why they have retention rate there, right?
The retention rate for 12th grade last year. This is for last year, not this year. Yeah. So last year was 8 point. I apologize. Go ahead.
Sorry. So we don't know exactly this year what's going to be, right?
No, we won't know that until the actual 4th marking period closes. So,
Okay.
We have preliminary list in the various schools. They're actually creating those right now. preliminary list. As you know, by February 1st, parents have to be notified, and they have to be placed in their report cards that there's students are in danger of being retained. But really, if the student makes progress throughout, especially in the cases of COVID, of schools being closed and such, we're very careful about just retaining, because sometimes that doesn't help the issue. So we want to make sure that we put all the accountabilities together, all the different supports that the students need in order to ensure their success. And as a last resort, obviously, if need be, we retain the student.
Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna see the difference in like you say, the fall period to see how this percent will go, down something. I hope, Yeah. Okay. You have any question, Ms. Brown? Oh, yes, Mr. Joe. So, Joe, you have a question?
Yeah, just one question. How do the retention rates, Mr. Planas, how do they compare to the year pre-COVID?
I do not have that information. I could answer that maybe in the next meeting. I did not make that comparison.
I don't think we have to present it at the meeting. I would just be curious if it's up or down, just to see.
Yeah, I'm not really certain, so I don't want to speculate.
Okay.
So I have a question.
Yes, Ms.
Is
Brown.
it possible to know what is in place for those students that may, so if they are going to be in the middle of retention or, about to repeat the grade, because it is COVID in the middle of all of this, and we know our students are struggling with transition, is there any supportive measures that we are going to provide for those students that may be retained? That it could be, I don't know, like I'm not answering social emotional side of it, but like, is there anything in place for those students who may have been doing well prior to COVID and all of a sudden a drastic change has happened? Is there any support for them?
That's a great question, and indeed we are we're looking at obviously some programs throughout the schools. I know guidance counselors are looking into that in schools as such through the SRBI process. We are also looking for some summer programs for our students to ensure that they have a chance to keep up with their scholastic abilities throughout and catch up, in a time, as well as provide them with opportunities to work with other students because of the lost amount of time that they've had once we close schools. I know I'm working on the K-3, which is going to be inclusive of math. I know 8th and 9th grade has been a crucial years throughout, and so we're creating some enrichment programs in the summer, and that will help with the SEL component of it. And I know there's other things that we're working on with the funding that we have received throughout.
Okay, because I know that the governor had released something for those students that were struggling with the potential of having retention be their future for this year or next coming school year. So I was just curious to see how Bridgeport was going to tackle that, because let's be honest, there are students that do well online that did horrible in class and did the opposite with the other way around, with students who did great on horrible in class but did better online. So the grades are going to look so different, and I just want to make sure we're not missing anything, an opportunity to help, instead of making them feel like it's their fault that COVID happened, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's well said, and it's very true. I experienced that myself at home, where one of my sons, they're doing very well in the computer, and he's shyer than my older one. He's a little more shy, and so he likes the computer. He likes doing work in the computer. And so how do we continue that throughout a post-COVID era? And we're looking at that at the school as we develop the new strategic plan throughout to be inclusive of SEL, and to make sure that we just don't throw out all these great tools that we've learned about. We want to be sure that we continue to include the usage of computers, of that whole virtual aspect that we've learned about, but in a in-person world.
Definitely. Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you have any question, Mr. Joe, to Mr. Plana? Any comments? All right, Mr. Plana, appreciate your information. I appreciate all the information you give it to us.
I apologize for the for the report not coming up. Sorry about that.
That's okay. In your technology, always something's wrong. It's always something happen. But I appreciate the information. Thank you, Ms. Brown, about your comment. I appreciate that. All right. In the 7th, we have a discussion, and I know you'll be part of this, Mr. Plana. So, discussion of the parent concern of communication with school staff and principal. Why I bring this is because I got so much emails and text messaging, phone calls, Mr. Plana, that sometimes parents, they want to ask some question about what's going on with the COVID-19, what's going on with the education of the kid, or any comment, any question parent want to know what's going on in school. I know everybody's getting stressful and very depressed, and we're going through a lot of things. It's not easy what we're going through, but I'm not appreciate that they have staff and they have administrator that don't have to communicate with parents the way it's supposed to be. I know sometimes we got, like I always say, because I can't say it, sometimes we got crazy parents. Sometimes we got parents that are out of control. They don't know how to deal and talk to the staff. And I know sometimes staff had to do whatever they have to do because, they need to ask for respect. But not all the time. Not all the time that we got crazy parents. We got parents that care about education of the kids. We got parents that care about what's going on in the school. We got parents that want to know what's the next step, what they can do for the better education for our kids. But having staff and principals, they don't have to communicate with the parents is not accepted at all. I know we spoke this in the last one of my meetings, and I believe Mr. Testani sent the message out. But the next time, I believe the parents will make a big, huge complaint. And when I say huge, big complaint, they say we'll bring, if they have to be Channel 12, they bring the news. They will do whatever they have to do. It's nothing I can do. I'm trying to bring the peace. I'm trying to talk to them. Listen. Let me deal. Let me talk to the supervisor. Let me talk. Who is the? Mr. Plana, but sometimes I ask you who's in charge of the school, and you tell me who's in charge, and we trying to, to work together, work like the way it is, like a protocol, step by step. But if it's not gonna be like that, I don't know what's gonna happen, Mr. Plana. Because I want you to bring this message, and I know Mr. Testani, I already sent an email about that. That administrator had to be careful how to talk with the parents. Parents going through a lot of things, it is not easy. We all go through a lot of things, but it's not easy. That parents very stressful. It's not easy. Sometimes we got single parents. They have to go through so many things that we have staff. They don't have to communicate with parents. So I just want to bring this for the record. That I hope they send the message again the second time that staff has to be careful how to talk and communicate with the parents, especially when we got parent leaders. They're trying to do the best they can. That's my concern, Mr. Plana.
May I just quickly answer? I know we're
of course.
And I thank you for bringing that forth. As you know, I've been an advocate of parents for many years. By the way, my mom was also a PLTI graduate, although I've never attended a PLTI, so I'm very proud of the work that my wife is doing in that sense. And you yourself know, Mr. Benahan, when we worked together at Curial and the many schools that we work together, I invite any parent that is having an issue like that to contact any of the executive directors, irrespective of whether that's their school or not. If you can't find the school, my phone number is in our website, but I'll give it to you right now. It's 203-275-1380. And if it's not my school, believe me, I will try to help you, or I will make sure that there's someone that could help you, whether it be the executive director or the principal itself. Also, my colleagues, I know that they feel the same exact way. So if they can't find me, you have Dr. Selena Morgan, and Dr. Victor Black, who Dr. Victor Black is the high school person, and their extension is 203-275-1035. And for the smaller schools and for the pre-K program, the preschool program, you could contact Melissa Jenkins, Dr. Jenkins, at 203-275-1081. And so these numbers are posted on our website. If anyone is having any issues, of any kind, and they feel the same way as you're mentioning, I think it's important for them to contact us directly. And we answer, as you know, we answer our phones or our emails very quickly. We don't wait around. We want the problem resolved. So I invite anyone that hears this, and I know that there's people watching us right now, to keep those phone numbers in mind and to please contact us. Because if we know about it, we could do something about it. It's when we don't know that we can't do something about it.
Yeah, it's true. And thank you, Mr. Plana. And I know you always do that. Sometimes I call you and say, who's in charge of this school? And you tell me who's the person, and I contact the person. I know it's a protocol because the first thing I told my parents is, do you spoke with the teacher?
Mm-hmm.
They told me, yeah. Do you spoke with the principal? Yes, I did. So, okay, so now we got another level. It's a protocol. Like I told my parents, you not go from the first step, you're going to jump 10 steps. You have to go step by step so you can have a record. You talk with the principal, the teacher, you don't happy. You talk with the principal, you're not happy with the principal. That's what the principal had all the second director supervisors. And, and thank God that every time I contact one of them, they really contact my parents. They're happy and they resolve the situation. But my big point is we don't need to bring this message again. My big point is the staff there have to understand if parents come very professional with good communication, very, very good, concerns about anything that's going on in the school, please just listen to parents and trying to figure out what to do. Because I would not be happy. My supervisor come to my school or call me, tell me that parents are not happy. So that's me as a principal or as a staff, I'm not doing my job the way it's supposed to be. I would not like to my supervisor call me. That's the way that I feel. So one of the big point is that I want all the staff administrator to understand when parents come nicely, all right, and come to talk to the principal, let's listen to them. You never know what is the concern. Don't go with an attitude or tell them things they don't supposed to be. So this is the second time we talk about this, and I hope not. I hope we don't do this again. But I know all your executive director, Mr. Plana, Ms. Morgan, Ms. Jenkins, Mr. Black, they always do a professional job. You guys are always there on top, and I appreciate that when you help my parents. The only thing I want to send a message again, that please, administrators, talk to the parent a little more professional, because that's what they are. They're professional. That's only my concern, Mr. Plana. But I appreciate your information and your numbers.
Thank you.
You don't have any question to Mr. Plana, Ms. Brown, or Mr. Joe?
No questions.
All right, Mr. Plana, I appreciate your time, your valuable time. So thank you for your be always there, professional, as like I call you, Dr. Planas.
Always a pleasure for you, Mr. Benahan.
All right, now in the thank you, Mr. Plana. Now in the agenda we have one of my best, things I always support, the school volunteers set update. Ms. Graven, thank you so much to be with us tonight. I appreciate that. I know you'll be surprised when I invite you, but I want you, let them know what's going on so we can give you some information, what's going on with your program. I heard something last night. I know Mr. Joe, they can share a little bit, and Ms. Brown, what Mr. Testani says. So I'm here to support you. So your floor is yours, Ms. Gridman.
Thank you. Last year was certainly a challenge when everything shut down. We were not able to do anything with our Read Aloud volunteers and our tutors, but we were able to keep our mentoring program going. And we contacted all the parents and got their permission for the mentors to call their mentees, and that continued. So during this summer, we started strategizing, figuring out how we were going to be able to connect people for the upcoming school year. And we were most appreciative of the help that we got from the IT department and from Dr. Melissa Jenkins, who is my supervisor, in trying to figure everything out. And Dr. Jenkins had us do an actual read aloud program with her preschool, with her summer school program, the elementary summer school program. And we learned a lot from that. Teams is not as intuitive as Zoom. And, our teachers were struggling to use it. And now we have outside volunteers who have to learn how to use a team system too, and figure out how to volunteer virtually. So we really feel that we were successful, although our numbers are less than they were the previous year. But we were able to hold a citywide read aloud day for every pre-kindergarten and 6th grade class. And the way we did it was inviting people to read to each grade level. So we had the superintendent, the mayor, we had a minority business owner who is actually building the new library branches. Donna Thompson Bennett was one of our readers. We had a woman from People's Bank who's an ongoing reader. She's a branch manager. And we got John Ratzenberger as well to read. So the readings were pre-recorded, and we held Read Aloud Day at a certain day and a certain time. And I have looked recently, and the read alouds have been viewed 1,750 times since that time. So we know that people saw it for Read Aloud Day, and we think they're still accessing it and showing it to their classes. So then we started connecting our ongoing Read Aloud people with their teachers. And at that time, Joyce Goodwin was also in the office with me, and we started polling our volunteers and also asking the teachers who they would like to have volunteer in their classes, because we knew that it is one more thing that the teachers had to do to invite volunteers and schedule the time and plan their being there on the teams. And we have ended up with about 160 people reading aloud in classes. And all these people came to the office and they picked up the books that they were going to read. So they made that commitment to do that as well. And at the end of the year, they're going to donate the books to the classroom libraries. We continued on with our mentors, making the phone calls. And of course, we've got to find out where the children are located and if they've left the district and moved schools, whether they were remote or in school, and communicate with the parents yet again to continue the phone calls and the text. And then we did get permission finally for them to meet virtually on Teams. Now, this requires guidance counselors and teachers to be involved, to invite them into meetings and to arrange for the meeting times and whatnot. So in the end, we've ended up with about 65 mentors who are still in contact with their mentees. And then we started working with our tutors. Now, last year we had about 300 people tutoring, and this year we have 55, but to me, that's extraordinary. We have been holding trainings for the tutors on Teams, trying to show them how to share information with the children and access these wonderful books on Flyleaf Publishing that Dr. Jenkins told us about so that they can read with the children. And we actually have some tutors tutoring multiple children. We have one who started off, I think she was connected with 6 or 7 students, and only about 4 or 5 show up. But a couple of weeks ago, she said to me, I only had 2 last week who showed up, and I was able to work with them for 45 minutes each, and I really made some significant strides with them. So I'd like to try to rearrange the way I'm doing tutoring. And this just shows you how committed these people are. They're really going to extraordinary lengths to engage with our students, and they care so much about how they're going to do and how they're going to do when they come back next year to school. The other thing is people in the community are still calling us to engage with our students. And on the sheet that I gave you some examples of some of the partnerships. But just recently, I had a U.S. District Judge contact me, and she had contacted me months ago to set up some kinds of civics education classes, and we connected her with students at Harding High School. Well, now they'd like to go down to lower grades, to grades 4 through 6. And she said they want to do civics education with an eye toward anti-racism and also developing children's leadership skills, as well as showing them productive ways of doing change, of bringing change up around. So I've been in touch with principals to see who might be interested in these programs and help her make those kind of connections. So all in all, we've got 160 people reading, 65 mentors, 55 tutors, and active partnership activity going on. Now, the big question is what happens to all these people in the partnerships next year? You're aware that our position has not been in the budget for 3 years, and the School Volunteer Association, through this partnership that we've had with the Board of Education, has paid my salary and that of Joyce Goodwin in the office. And last fall, Joyce was moved out of the office and she reports to Kali Rocha Rios. And I'm in the office by myself trying to manage things, and it's hard, but we're not in the budget next year. And people are asking me, so what's going to happen? Who do I contact? How do I continue? And, you know, these things just don't happen without attention. Volunteer coordination is not casual. It has to be purposeful. There have to be programs, and without employees of the Board of Ed in the office making things happen, I'm not sure what's going to happen. So that's the good news and the bad news. Oh, and let me add one other extra little thing. I did tell you the number of books that we've been donating, and about 10,000 books will be donated to classroom and student libraries by the end of the year. And we had another 1,000 books that were donated. SVA bought the 10,000 books that are going into the classrooms, but about 1,000 books were donated to us by a publisher, and all the books came in here and they were sorted and sent out to preschool classes. So it's not only the people force, it's the supplies and books that go out and the partnerships that are created that come forth from this office. And I like to add too that, you know, we support the children academically. Our volunteers support them emotionally. And the one thing that I really like to stress is I think these volunteers bring joy. They bring joy to the teachers and they bring joy to the students with their interactions.
Thank you, Ms. Graben. You know, I appreciate your report. Thank you so much. I wish I can take out the money from my pocket and give it to you. Why? Because I know you guys, your company, your team, and you, the guys did an amazing job. I still remember when my son was in Johnson School. They read to my son. He learned how to read. You know, my sister Tommy Boyle. Tommy Boyle, she always support you. They always love you. They love your. The kids always think, you know, talk about your things. I got parents they enjoy. I know, and you guys do an amazing job. My respect. Thank you so much from the bottom of the heart. Your team, your volunteers, and everything. But in this situation about the budget that had to be coming, you know, from the budget thing, I know Mr. Testani, he's trying to explain us something last night, and I know Miss Joe, are you here with us? Because he's the chair. Oh, I know Mr. Do you know what Mr. Testani or what was the situation about the school volunteer? What happened with the budget? If you can say something, few words about that, you'll be the chair.
Yeah, put it up in with this COVID funding. General broad strokes. Basically, even though we got all this money, we're still facing a structural deficit. And as you know, we did cut the funding to the School Volunteer Association and couldn't fund it for quite a few years. And our budget hasn't really changed. Our structural budget has not changed. But what has changed is there is an influx of COVID money. And there was some discussion about perhaps being able to fit the SVA, this is all tentative and nothing's firm, into the COVID funding, but it may need some realigning of mission and what have you to be able to fit under the COVID funding grants. So, yeah. But that's something that everybody would have to sit down between the SVA and Mr. Testani to work out the details to make a form of service delivery that will be happy and equitable for everybody and fit under the the COVID guidelines.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Joe. Yeah, that's the information, Ms. Gribbon. We have last night from the for the committee for financial, Mr. Chair, Ms. Joe was the chair, but I know Mr. Testani, he said we'll sit down. We need to figure out what we can do. He don't promise nothing, but let's see, sitting down on the table, us together, working as a team, what we can do. We would love to you guys be with us, but yeah, of course, I'm not the only make that decision. So I would love to have you back, and I support you, for the day one. You all know that from the day one. But we're gonna try to do the best we can, but for now, we appreciate everything you guys do. I'm telling you, it's as an honor. Is so happy you guys be with us. I appreciate all your hard work. It's not easy, especially you, Ms. Griffin. You be by yourself now in the office, trying to do so many things at the same time. My respect for that, and thank you for everything you do. But what we see, what I'm gonna do with Mr. Testani to see what we can get solution for this. So we can be us at the same time as a team.
Thank you. That would be terrific, because I'm telling you, these volunteers are just remarkable, committed people, and they bring so much value to our school system.
And I respect when it's a volunteer. I respect that, because it's like you taking your value time, your value hours, your value lives to give it to another person. Listen, I respect that. I take it out of my hat for that, and God bless for all these volunteers that be there for us, for the students.
Okay, thank you.
Ms. Brown, you have any comment, any questions to Ms. Griffin? No, okay. All right, Ms. Griffin.
I'm all set.
Thank you. Ms. Griffin, I will do the best I can. I will communicate with Mr. Testani and the committee to see what we can do. And then from there, Mr. Testani will contact you to see what was the solution. But I appreciate everything, your hard work, you and your team do.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Griffin. Have a good day. You will be to stay with us for a little while. We almost finished because I have to go to another meeting.
Okay, thank you.
Ms. Griffin. All right, at the end of the agenda, we got Columbus School names change update. Ms. Brown, Ms. Joe, I'm still waiting for some information from from the principal from Columbus School. She said she will update some information. They'd like to know what's going on, what they changed the name or not. But so far that I understand, the parents' votes no change the name. They like to stay with the name. So I don't know what's going to be the next step. We did send information to me to Stanley to see what we're going to do about this. But my opinion as a parent, as a leader, as a person be here, former PAC president for Columbus School, I would not like to ignore the vote of the parents who decide to change the name. That's very, 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 very important for me, because it feels like if you want to throw away this vote, it's like they don't value for them. They will be upset. They say, "Oh, so my vote was not valued." So I just want to know what the committee. I just want to know what Ms. Bagoli had to send it to me, and what is the decision, what Mr. Testani, what we're gonna do about it. But I respect and I stay with the vote of what the parents vote to stay with the name of the Columbus School. That's the only information I can give it to you until next meeting that I receive more information what's going on with the school. You have any question, Ms. Brown and Ms. Jones, so we can keep forward? No? All right.
I'm all set.
Thank you.
No questions.
Thank you. So I'm gonna make a motion to adjourn the meeting, because I know we have another meeting. We're a little behind. So I would like to say thank you. Hold on a second. Hold on. I would like to say thank you to Mr. Plana, Ms. Bobby Brown, Ms. Joe, Mr. Grassi, Rocha, the video, Ms. Gribbon, John, all the Ms. Valle, all the team. Thank you for always be there for us. Thank you for all the parents, all the community leaders, and everyone watching the student family always every month. So I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting. It's 6:05 p.m. April 22nd. Make a motion.
So move.
Thank you. So have a good night, everyone. Thank you for everyone to be with us. God bless you all.
Good night. Thank you.
Bye-bye.